So we've talked a little bit about Cavs are going to be missing Ricky Rubio. What are some names, some of the guys they might look to bring in as a point guard that would fit kind of that veteran that might be able to do some of the things that Ricky Rubio was doing?
Well, it's going to be hard to replace because he's one of the few pass-first point guard types who really facilitates a lot for other people. So, but, there are veterans out there that are available, are kind of just sitting at home, have been proven in the past that they can fill in a pinch. One of the names that I like, or I hear other people who actually work around the NBA saying would be a good fit for them, is Mike James, who's 31 years old, played overseas a lot, was great overseas, was very good last year in a short stint with the Brooklyn Nets, filling in for Kyrie. He's available. Talk about maybe a guy like Chris Dunn, former first-round pick with the Chicago Bulls. Solid type of player. Is not going to dazzle anybody, but can come in and maybe do a job, is available. There are other players kind of like that aren't quite as experienced. Maybe, somebody like a Frank Mason, who had played in the Milwaukee Bucks system as a former G League MVP. Quinn Cook, who the Cavs are familiar with, has been here before. Has kind of bounced around the league with the Lakers and the Warriors, has been in a lot of winning situations. Those type of players are all kind of the guys who have had some NBA experience that, are just waiting for another opportunity, come in, try to make the most of another opportunity. Cleveland obviously has availability, and I think Cavs GM Kobe Altman is going to explore that avenue. I don't know if he's going to look at the players I just talked about, but those are the type of players that he's certainly going to explore bringing in, are the veterans who have been around the league a little bit. By the way, a lot of my readers on the website keep mentioning Jeff Teague, who is a former Atlanta Hawks, played with the Bucks. Right now, Jeff Teague, by the way, is as a scout for the Atlanta Hawks. That's not to say he wouldn't come back to play, but those kind of guys are just the names making the rounds. And I think those, we have a full list of free agent point guards, available players, veterans on HoopsWire. So I would imagine that Kobe Altman has his own list and is checking that and saying, who might we be able to bring in that's going to be cheap, that has experience, that can maybe fill in. Now, that said, if you don't want to go the free agent route, and the Cavs might not, you may be looking at a low-level trade. Who are some veteran players on teams that aren't contenders, that play the point guard, that can be easier to get, I should say, where you're not surrendering anybody from your core. You're maybe giving a player and a second-round pick to go get a veteran point guard, with DJ Augustine maybe of the Rockets being one example. He's playing a veteran player who's well-traveled, who's playing in a losing situation, a rebuilding situation, who may become available and presumably would be easy for the Cavs to get. So those are the types of names that you're going to be hearing, and I think that the Cavs, frankly, Dave, need to sign somebody pretty quick. Granted, we've got all kinds of health and safety protocol issues going around the league right now, but right now you just kind of want to bring in somebody veteran, get them in here fast, and get them acclimated.
Yeah, and it was, you watched the end of that New Orleans game after Ricky Rubio got injured, and quite frankly, they struggled to get into an offense because they didn't have a guy like one of the guys that we're talking about.